Welcome back to the Fantasy Football Profit Podcast. Today we're continuing to talk about some mock auction drafts. And this one, we're using Fantasy Pros to do these, do some quick mocks to try to get our feel for different strategies right now. We're not just going into this be like, all right, I'm going to absolutely draft my best team ever. This one we're like, all right, we're going to follow the strategies that people talked about. So before we did studs and duds, we did zero RB. In this past one, we did kind of like a balanced approach where kind of waiting more, not spending kind of over $40 in any one player. And it's something I know going in, we were probably already biased against it because I see people talk about this sometimes about nominating guys you don't want early and doing this and maybe wait on stuff. I never think it works. So I'm like, all right, we're going to go into this and see, can it actually work, right? What can happen if you actually go into a draft like this and be like, all right, I'm just not going to spend a bunch of money. I want to see the best kind of players I can get. And does it work? And it's a mixed bag for me, to be honest with you. I think my conclusion is, before we even talk about the teams, I think my conclusion we talked about is, I think you're not going to be the worst in the league. I think you're just going to be kind of a mediocre team. And unless you hit on some waiver wire gems, I just don't feel like you're a title team. I think that's pretty much the key for what I've noticed is I don't think you're a title winning team. And I'll go over the two drafts. One gave a B-, one gave a C+. First one, you end up with Anthony Richardson. Okay. That's the key right there where maybe there's that higher level. That's right. Maybe that's the kind of quarterback.
But that was also us getting a little bored with the players.
We got to get Richardson.
Yeah, if we're not going to go over this threshold, let's get a few guys that could take it to the next level.
Running backs were Etienne and Cook as their starters. I like them. I don't know. Cook's a little, I don't know if I love Cook.
Yeah.
I want more than that, though, right? You don't want those to be quite your guys. And this one, we went with Marvin Harrison as the rookie. Debo, Chris Olave, Cooper Kupp. We have Nick Chubb on the bench. Not much else. But see, again, you got some players like, okay, they're fine. I just don't feel like, unless Nick Chubb comes back and is healthy and is Nick Chubb, and Anthony Richardson takes the next level, and Marvin Harrison's Randy Moss, you have to hope for a lot of that stuff to be big. Other than that, you're just kind of like, it could be okay. I don't know. It's not the worst, right? It's not a bad team. You'd see this team be like, all right, they make some moves, they can do some stuff. I just your problem is you're going to probably be, unless someone breaks out that's not there yet, you're going to be chasing that top guy the whole time. That's, I think, the key. The second team we did got Jordan Love. So again, the key is the young quarterback might be on that. Josh Jacobs. Jahmyr Gibbs, I think, was a good one. He went for cheap. He's going for cheap on Fantasy Pros. Will that happen on in where you're drafting? I don't know. Devontae Adams, Drake London, Mike Evans, Brock Bowers, got Ladd McConkey, Kean Coleman, Zamir White, Justin Herbert. I don't know. How do you feel about it? I think it kind of just is what I thought going in. It's like, maybe it's just kind of blah. You got to hope some things go right. Some players break out.
Yeah, I think that you don't quite have the firepower in order to really get it done. I feel like you're chasing the playoffs. You're not chasing the championship.
Yeah.
And maybe this is our issue, right? Because I think if you're going for these more middle level guys, at least pricing wise, I think that you have to feel passionate about them. And for us, I could tell we were kind of getting bored. And then we started being like, well, let's throw some rookies on there. Let's throw Anthony Richardson. And Jordan Love was a good one, but it becomes difficult to really get enthused about a team that you're kind of like, there's something missing.
I mean, those teams we drafted before with McCaffrey and Gibbs, and you get CeeDee Lamb, or you get Justin Jefferson, those feel way better, don't they?
Yeah, and you can still get a few of the young guys on the bench and then find out, right? I would much rather have that, because injury can I don't think you're saving yourself anything. Like
I'd rather go zero RB than this. Because even in the running backs you get are fine, but I think, man, running backs emerge all the time. You don't know who it's going to be, but and they get hurt all the time too. So
and we were taking you eventually have to find kind of like a deal. And some polarizing players, right? Like Cooper Kupp, we threw on the team.
Yep.
I know people will either think that is a great one or a terrible one.
But we got stuff going on in the background. Yeah. No worries.
But yeah, so I have a hard time with that one because you're looking for the deal in order not to overspend.
Well, and there's some players that come along on all these drafts we just pass up every time, even though the price is cheaper in the 20s. Like T. Higgins, I never draft him.
Yeah.
Like there's guys like that. I'm just like, all the tight ends in this format seem to go higher. Will that really happen? Not sure if that'll really happen when you get into like your ESPN or Yahoo leagues. Maybe it doesn't. They all go for too much in this because I don't actually know why. Fantasy Pros usually pretty good at values. I truly just don't buy the values that much on the tight ends. I don't think they should be higher.
No, I think in this one they are a bit higher than they normally would be in any other place. And I will say we made sure not to get some of the bigger names, but it also crushes me because if you're going for this and you're just kind of waiting it out, it also means that if one of these, Garrett Wilson, who is kind of like a number 10 wide receiver, goes for a little less than you think, you're kind of like, I still have to pass up on him.
Well, and I think
that's where you're holding very, very strongly to.
But sometimes people that do these strategies think they're going to wait because they're going to mop up on the middle of the draft. I don't think you mop up on the middle of the draft.
I don't like the middle of the draft.
No, I don't like it, and I don't think you mop up on anything because I think prices go for more than you think they're going to go.
Yeah,
I really do.
You're hedging, like if you really like a Debo, if you really like a Kupp, if you really like one of these rookies coming out or something, then cool, good.
Yeah.
Take them, feel good about it. But I feel like you're kind of hedging your bet where if I'm just putting all my money into guys that kind of will, kind of won't, coming off injury, I just won't feel good about it.
Well, and right now the price is like you could get Cooper Kupp and T. Higgins for the price of CeeDee Lamb. Give me CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I agree. Yeah.
And that's a lot of it ends up being like, what? I don't want give me CeeDee Lamb and I don't know, some cheap receiver give me Ladd McConkey. Like maybe he's good.
I like
you know
Ladd.
what I mean?
I like Ladd a lot, but
he has an opportunity too. So give me that.
And I 100% agree with you. And I think the big one for me would be, I would much rather during the year have to find that third wide receiver and that flex position, and I'll stream tight ends. Give me that rather than you have every position settled and now you're just trying to, they're all just okay. Mm-hmm. Instead of having really high quality guys and let me go out into the waivers and find two guys that I love, I would much rather do that.
I've had so many teams like that over the past. I'm just like, man, I just don't have anything, and I don't have any trade assets either. Like I can't even get myself, because even sometimes getting the studs approach, you can, if you're struggling early, you could still trade that big time guy to get a couple other guys and become this team. Even let's say if it wasn't working, where you can become more of a balanced team. If you can't find the other guys with this approach, you're kind of like you're out of options. With that approach, maybe like, all right, I can pivot and try to become something else. This, you're kind of just stuck.
Yeah, I agree.
You're just kind of stuck where you're at. And I don't know. Again, you can win with this. You truly can. I'll even say last year, I had a team that I feel like, because we're in a keeper league, so it is different. I felt like it felt more mediocre. My team did. I lucked out because, I went big on a quarterback. I lucked out because of Puka and Sam Laporta. And you don't always get that lucky. If I don't get those two, because if I don't get those two, you remember my team, like I traded for Derrick Henry, right? So I got something extra, but he wasn't even that great. But I had Joe Mixon. I got Ramondre Stevenson. It was and then even Wilson, Garrett Wilson, and Ayuk was okay. But there's a lot of mediocre in that team. But I had the other guys that got lucky, and that is so like. First of all, it's so rare.
It is very rare. And think about that too. Like that was great. Good on you. But it was, first of all, like tight ends don't break out that way.
They don't do that
in round one. And Puka broke like rookie records. Like that is the most insane one. And on top of that, then you made trades in order to.
After I had those guys though to make it, so I'm like, all right, now I can do maneuver. But we also can trade draft cash. Is a little different. But it's still though, the team would have been very mediocre if I didn't get just lucky. Because two guys that I picked up off the waiver wire became what they became. And once again, not going to happen every year. Because
if you love the guys, right? Like if you loved Ramondre, if you think he's going to break out, if you think someone else, then sure. But that's not. I feel like that's not the strategy. That is you dissecting it and saying these guys are going to be amazing. I'm grabbing everyone I love.
And you see how many times this happens where you go back and look at other drafts. And you look at guys. I spent $10, $15, $20 in these drafts. You look at them, you're like, ugh, not great.
I feel like you end up with the guys that should be in that ranking, that pricing, but no one actually wants.
Yeah. And sometimes,
and I hate to, I like T. Higgins, but I feel like
he's that perfect one.
He's that guy.
I'm not spending on it.
Yeah. You're like, I don't want him, but I know he's worth that money. I don't want him this year. Like
there's a lot, there's guys like Aaron Jones at running back's one of them too. Pass him every time.
That's 100%. That's a great one.
Yeah, every time.
Honestly, one of the times we got Josh Jacobs, and even that one, I'm kind of like,
yeah, I know.
A good player, nothing against Josh Jacobs.
Give me the studs and then like Tajay Spears, and I'm good. So
right, I'd rather
Blake Corum maybe. I haven't got him yet, but we will. But all right, that'll do it. We'll talk to you guys next time.